First question for Andrew. We'll start with Andrew here.
Andrew Jones, Star Hill 24/7. We've heard a lot about you. Watched some film with Boise. Why don't you describe yourself? Tell us what kind of player you are, what kind of player Carolina fans will see.
Yeah, first off, I want to be a leader. I want to hit the field with just last play mentality, every play like it's your last. Play hard, play fast, play physical. Be a coach on the field, somebody that you can depend on when the game's on the line.
I talked to someone who covered you at Boise. He said that you play angry but under control. What is angry and under control?
I guess just knowing what you got to do, get in there with just a mindset that you're going to make every single play. I want to make every play on the field. If it comes my way or not, I want to be there for my team with relentless pursuit any way I can. So just being dominant in that sense, I just want to do everything for my team.
Look at Jeremiah in front over here.
Yeah, Jeremiah Holloway with Inside Carolina. Andrew, for you, when you were in the transfer portal, what were some of the main things you were looking for? And then when you looked at North Carolina, I guess what were some of the main things that they had that just kind of worked for you, and how did you kind of identify that was worth it?
Yeah, so here obviously just championship pedigree with a coach like Belichick, somebody who's going to develop you, focus on just the small things that are going to just make a big deal when the time comes. So honestly, just trying to boost my draft stock as much as I can, trying to come to a winning culture that cares about football, that wants to win, and everything that I talked about with Coach Belichick, some of the guys on the team and coordinators, it just aligned with all my goals. So it's really where I want to be.
Let's go to David here.
We're coming to Gio about his recruitment with Belichick, and he says, I was expecting a call from Carolina, but it's actually Belichick's hand. It's on the other end, probably kind of freaking out at first. What was your sort of experience like the first sort of line of communication, and how did you end up getting sold on coming here?
Yeah, so I kind of had a good feeling. I wanted to be a part of this. Just talking to Belichick was kind of like the cherry on top. He made everything seem smooth. The transition was very smooth. And in our first meeting, we met face to face. First time I talked to him was in person. It was a great conversation. We talked for a long time. I feel like we could have talked a little bit longer, it seemed like, but he had a meeting to get to. But honestly, it was with my family. He made us all feel welcome, made us all feel at home. He was a lot more genuine, a lot more authentic than I feel people give him credit for. He was very easy to talk to, and he made it simple. The reasons why we're here, what we want to do, what they want to do with me, and it just made everything smooth.
Hey Andrew, Ryan Porter, Target 24/7. You played in some huge games last year, of course, in the college football playoff, the Mountain West Championship, but also one sack, one forced fumble against Oregon early in the season. Playing against that high-tier competition, what are some key takeaways you took from those games, and how do you plan to bring that here to Chapel Hill?
Yeah, those are the games you live for. You know what I'm saying? Just playing against this very best competition. That's something I always strive for. Just as a kid and growing up, even through high school, I always wanted to play with or against the best. So those games come up, and they're circled on the calendar for sure, and you know that you gotta do everything in your power to play your best. Because the team is dependent on you. And I always go into every game like it's on me mindset. And I feel like if all 100 guys on the team is going into the game like it's on me to win this game, you'll play well and things will happen for you. So
Let's go to Tom here.
Tom Nash, Inside Carolina. The defensive line has been rebuilt. The linebacker line has been rebuilt. Secondary is pretty similar than it was last year. What can you tell us about the guys in front of you there on the defensive line? Because they're all fresh faces from the
what I'll say is, they're big, they're hungry, they come into work every single day, they're willing to learn, and they're ready to just get after it. I feel like all of us coming from different places, so it'll be easy to see a lot of individuals, but I feel like we did a great job at mending together as a team, on and off the field, getting to know each other, and just playing fast and physical. That's something we wanted to implement, on a heavy scale every single day, every single practice, being a lot like the most physical team on the field every time we take it in. And knowing where you're going and helping each other out. If they're in a spot, I got to make them right. If I go somewhere, they got to make me right. So it's just playing in one unit, and I feel like that's what they're coming in here to do.
Let's go to Noah in front.
Noah Weisskopf, Target 24/7. What was it like for you in the transfer portal? I know people have crazy stories of I got 8 calls in the first minute. What was it like for you, and how were you able throughout that process to sort of stay level-headed and make sure you're making the right decision?
Just focusing on mainly what my true goals were for not only as a football player, but just as a person, going somewhere where the program, just cared. They cared about winning. They cared about doing the right things on and off the field. They cared about just developing me as a player. Knowing I only had 1 year left, a lot of schools understood that, so I needed to come in immediately and just learn a new system and be developed from where I was. And I just wanted to be ready for the league when the league comes calling, and I felt like Coach Belichick, there's nobody else better to go to for that. So.
Back here.
Brian wanted to the start of Andrew, I believe Dad talked a little bit about how you guys grew up playing very close and you grew up playing football with each other. Can you talk about how that relationship has been and kind of how it's been before you kind of transferred to UNC?
Yeah, so me and him go way back. We lived about 5 minutes away from each other back in California, and even through COVID and stuff, we'd be up at 6 a.m. Most days, just going to get work together, going to hit the field after, staying till it's dark, just really finding things to do, honestly, on and off the field. We got really close then, and then through college, we ended up playing each other when he was at Washington and I was at Boise, and it was kind of a full circle moment there. And then coming all the way back to here, we were both in the transfer portal, and it just made it more just, it just had a better understanding of kind of what we wanted to go do, and how we wanted the season to turn out for both of us. And I trust him, he trusts me, and he made a very good pitch to me when I was in the transfer portal about why I should come here and what we could do. And I'm just excited to get to work with him because that's my best friend. So.
Case Maker is I'm also curious to know your relationship forming house. You guys were in the same high school and how much you guys overlap there, but when you come in such a new room that's the linebacker position, how is it integrating chemistry and how quickly you guys got along?
Yeah, it definitely makes it easier when a guy kind of came up how you came up a bit, and gone through the same kind of cycle you have, because he was a freshman when I was a senior at Bosco, so I kind of knew he was a young guy who had a bright future, and seeing it play out for him is special because I literally saw him kid growing up, becoming a man. So and he saw me as well, looking at me as a senior and then getting me here. I feel like he's helping me out a lot. He was already familiar with a lot of stuff that Steve brought in, and a lot of stuff that kind of just Carolina brought in with the first few months he was here. So he's been guiding me the way I would expect a vet to do, and it's kind of funny just the age difference, how much more mature he is, I would say. But yeah, he's a good dude, good player, even better person. So.
Time for one or two more. Right, Jalen?
Yeah, so Andrew, I know you went to St. John Bosco, and you also went to Boise State, which is a program, even though it's a mid-major, there's a lot of expectations that place. How have those two schools prepared you for this moment when there's a lot of hype surrounding Chapel Hill and Coach Belichick?
Yeah, in high school, I would say winning was the standard. And coming out, I wanted to go to a program where that was the same thing, where people cared. That was my biggest thing, care factor being high and winning being just what we're supposed to do. So going to a school like Boise State, winning was something they did, and they did consistently. And just growing you as a great football player and as a man, and I feel like that was something that I was looking into deeply, making sure that there was a program that would take me from ground up and try and build me to be a better player than who I was the day before. So that's pretty much why I did that.
Another quick follow-up question. Jamie Collins is your position coach. How has he helped you throughout your development? Because he was a Pro Bowler in the NFL.
Yeah, learning from somebody like that every single day who was in it with guys like you are, playing football at a very the highest level. He's went through some of the workouts even that Mo put him through, or some of the practice and the scheme. So it's easy to learn from somebody that's done it and that understands it and sees the game from the entire lens. So I feel like he comes in every day with the mentality of work, and it just makes you want to go harder because you just want to, what you want to amount to. If you make a great play, I'm sure he's probably made a play like that too. So it doesn't let you get too much in your head about what you do good and bad. It's just about getting better.
The last one for
My name is Ben Volan from the Boston Globe. Came down here to write about your coach. They said a compound back in New England. I know you said he's a pretty down-to-earth guy, but just through this whole process, has there been a pinch me moment? Can you believe that Bill Belichick, the guy who coached Tom Brady, is here at UNC as your coach?
Honestly, it's just every meeting I walk into, every new day, I just sit there and I understand that I'm in front of greatness. You know what I'm saying? I'm going somewhere where he's leading our team and our troops, and we're following him. So pinch me moment, I would say probably when I first met him, but it's becoming more normal because he just is such a good person. You know, he talks to us, he keeps it real. We have good conversations that you wouldn't really expect to get out of a coach of his magnitude, but like he really how to understand the fundamentals of the game and just keeps it simple for us, and that allows us to play fast, play free, and then just trust what he's putting out in front of us.
Perfect. Good stuff, Andrew. Y'all let him get to practice now.
Thank you.